Joey Reese and Pickle and Boot Shop. Get yourself a pickle. Get yourself a boot. Joey Reese and Pickle and Boot Shop. Pickle time is happening.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Joe and Reese's favorite pickle. How do we do this, dude? Pickle and what's our thing called?
We are the Pickle and Boot Shop. This is the Patreon edition. And we have with us today Todd the Ass Man, Grass Man.
Yeah.
Todd, I'm going to ask you a personal question. Are you an ass man? Or are you like a shoulder guy? Do you like a nice neck? A nice nape of the neck? Are you like a thigh guy?
You caught him off guard.
He's
I
getting
am
giggly.
totally.
He's getting giggly like he's 13 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reese might not remember this, but I elbowed him in the face at a concert last year, and Leonore thought it was very hilarious because I giggled like that afterwards, and she said that my laugh is adorable. She was taking a picture of us, and I went to wrap an arm around him, ended up elbowing him in the face.
It happens
Similar
so
giggle
often.
at that time.
Yeah.
I will take that dancing around the answer to that question as you don't want to answer it, which is fair. I put you on the spot. I just thought with the last name.
I mean, yeah, sure. Yes, I am. Yeah.
You're a fan of a nice, of a nice shape. That's
exactly.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah. So you two are nurses, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
So
I-
how about I just sit back and you guys just nerd out on nursing?
Like, what's the weirdest thing you've put up somebody's butt or pulled out of their butt? That's how we usually start conversations.
I mean, I do have like a list of the top like foreign body stories that I have. Yeah.
Do you
the
work
weirdest-
in the emergency room? Are you
Yeah, I
needing this?
do. I've been working in the ER for about 10 years now.
You have plenty. Mine are just like secondhand. Like, I know a guy who works
Yeah.
in the ER. A lot of people fall on Barbie dolls.
I had a guy who claimed that he fell onto a small bottle of shampoo.
Yeah.
The weirdest part is there wasn't anything there. So I think he just wanted a digital rectal exam, basically. Yeah. Because
And
after
he
we
wanted
confronted him,
insurance
like,
to pay for it.
yeah, he was just like, oh, I guess I was wrong. Like, I don't actually have something up there.
Hey, man.
That is bizarre.
Yeah. One of the weirder actual objects, a guy got, like the curly, like telephone cord. He got one very far up his urethra. We actually had to have a urologist come and like yank it out because
Like,
it
it was
wasn't just
into
coming.
his bladder.
Yeah,
No.
I think so. Yeah.
None of that.
I guess
I'm-
Joe is not liking this.
Oh
but,
no, I can't do that. I can
yeah.
hear butt stories. I'll pass out if you start talking about wiener.
So those are some of
stories.
my weirder ones. Yeah.
Dear Lord.
Speaking of which, my special lady friend just sent me the website of the Icelandic Philological Museum.
I've heard of it.
She wants to go there on vacation.
Oh.
And that is a museum dedicated to wieners?
Yeah, it's like all the wieners. That looks
All of them. Like when
All of 'em.
everybody dies, people don't know this, but when you die, doesn't matter what funeral home you go to, they cut off your wiener and send it to that museum
They
for
do.
cataloging.
I'm looking at it right now, and there's like a cocktail poured from a wiener, some sort of waffle with a wiener, and then all kinds of animal wieners, and then disco ball wiener. I'm excited. This is going to be great.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be excited. Like I might be curious.
Yeah.
It says more than 200 penises and penile parts representing almost all Icelandic land and sea mammals.
I feel like if I went to Iceland, I'd be curious to see this museum. But other than
Yeah.
that, Like if I was already going to Iceland, then I might go there. But
Not,
Yeah, it
you wouldn't
definitely
just
wouldn't
go
be
to Iceland
for
for
the
this.
Yeah.
trip for it. Yeah.
yeah, there's like a big gravel. So I'm sort of into cycling. There's a big gravel race now, gravel cycling race around Iceland called the
Ooh.
Rift. So like doing something like that, and then maybe also stop for some other stuff there. But
Yeah,
So, Todd, since you brought up your cycling,
Yeah.
your
let's hear about
your
it.
handle is Socrates on a bike, right?
yeah, it
Now,
is.
where did that come from?
So I used to use a different handle, Socrates died trolling, because that's actually my sort of interpretation of the Apology of Socrates, the story about his trial. So that he was basically trolling the jurors because he sort of admits at the end that, hey, because he barely gets voted to be executed. He's like, maybe if I would have been nicer to them, I wouldn't be getting executed now. But then because I'm also just really into
Wait,
cycling. Yeah.
is it weird that I don't know what you're talking about? Like, what was it? Give me a quick drunk history of Socrates. I don't know.
So I've before I went into the medical healthcare field, I have a master's degree in philosophy from the University of Colorado at Boulder.
Oh my gosh.
And and yeah, so Socrates, ancient Athenian thinker, often called the father of Western philosophy.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Socrates. He makes it to a pretty ripe old age, probably in his 70s, and he gets arrested and tried for the crimes of atheism and corrupting the youth. Those were his two charges, though it doesn't seem like he was actually an atheist in our sense, more in the sense that they had like city gods and he did not recognize the city's gods. He did think maybe there was some sort of creator or deity. But anyway, it mostly seems he was put on trial because he annoyed a lot of powerful people, because he just went around questioning people. So they try him, and in Athens, they had like a 500-person jury. So it's like a big space,
Juror
right?
number one,
Guilty.
Yeah,
Juror
so
number two.
in it, he basically does sort of the same stuff to the court that he did all the time, which is just ask all these questions and try to show that they don't really know what they're talking about. So then afterwards, though, he makes a comment of like, oh, maybe if I would have been a little nicer, because you didn't have to have a unanimous jury like we do here. It just was a majority. And like he barely got voted guilty. So he's like, oh, maybe if I would have been nicer, I wouldn't be getting executed now.
The two more people.
Yeah,
And
so
how did they execute him then?
It was 252 to
they-
248.
They had him drink hemlock, just a poison. So that's actually so all we really know about Socrates, or most of it, comes from Plato, who was one of his students. He wrote all these stories, because Socrates, as far as we know, didn't write anything himself. So there's another one called the Phaedo, or the Death of Socrates, where it actually goes into that story. And it's pretty sad. Like a bunch of his followers come and like hang out while he drinks the poison. And they basically, even the jailer is sort of like okay with them just sneaking him out. But Socrates is like, hey, I grew up an Athenian, because the city was like okay with him just being banished too. But Socrates refused to be banished. So he's like, no, I grew up an Athenian. I'm going to die an Athenian, and takes the poison.
Drinking hemlock.
Yeah.
It's the punkest way to die.
Yeah. So that's where Socrates died trolling came from. And then, just one of my favorite philosophy figures, and then decided to meld that with the fact that I like bikes.
So when did
And
you
then
get into bikes? Were you a big biking kid?
I was, yeah.
You're a big Dave Mira fan?
Sort of. Yeah, I do like
That's the only
BMX
bike guy I
and-
know.
Yeah.
That's the only bike guy I know.
I mean, I'm more of there's like trials. Like if you guys ever look up Danny McCaskill, he has a bunch of just wild videos of him doing all sorts of tricks on a mountain bike. But no, I don't do stuff like that myself. I do mountain bike though, but I stick to like the green and the blue trails, like beginner and moderate trails. I don't really do like hardcore mountain biking and jumps and stuff, but
Okay. My
I actually,
cousin
where
is
where-
huge into cycling, that type of stuff. Like you and him do a lot of the same stuff.
do you still live in Colorado, Todd?
no, I live in Iowa. I'm from Iowa, and I came back. I just went there for school at Boulder. So I
Yeah.
just lived there for about 4 years.
I
Yeah.
went to. I say that I went to see you, and then my girlfriend corrects me because she went to see you Boulder, and she's like, "Yeah, but I went to the real one. I went to see you Denver."
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
I
But
imagine it's a
yes.
very different experience.
yeah I was fighting for my life. Have you ever heard Where 0 meets 15? It was
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah, and
But,
actually, when I came into town to go to your show with MXPX last year, I stayed at a hotel not far from there, and one of my first experiences getting out of my car, because I drove there, was a guy asking me for money. So, I feel like, it's still pretty similar in that area in some
It
respects.
is.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. When we played there, I just for real, man, I drove around, just lost my temper, just swearing. Because I'd be like, it used to be there was some homelessness in Denver. And so when I wrote that song, I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've seen in this town. I'd been to Chicago and Detroit, New York City, all these places. But seeing this in Denver, you're just like, this is insane. Cause you're like, here's the state capitol and it's covered in gold and even more richness, it has that red granite that they mined and they were like, this is pretty. We should put it in the state capitol. And it's all there is on earth. So it's worth billions, and then there's homeless people. But now, because of the legalization of the marijuana, everybody that owned property is doing great. And everybody that had to pay rent is homeless, or they live with their parents, or their parents live with them. It's insane. You cannot live there. Yeah, a one-bedroom apartment is easily $2,500 a month. Insane. There's so many homeless people now.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was
my
rant.
girlfriend and I have talked about, because she's from Colorado actually, and we've talked about moving out there at some point. Like we met here, it had nothing to do with me living there. But we've both liked Colorado. We've talked about it, but yeah, it would be more expensive than here in Iowa. Yeah.
Well, and it's gross. I feel like Denver's just gross. You can't drive anywhere without being in traffic. There's better places you can live. You're just not going to be close to IKEA. You'll be fine. You'll have to drive 3 hours, which is
Joe,
what I do now.
Yeah. Joe,
Go.
I
Joe.
probably am too close to my camera, but I wanted to point out I'm wearing an Insiders shirt. It's the
You are-
Rising from the Dead.
Here's what's
Insiders.
crazy.
Yeah.
Heidi wore that shirt the other day.
Oh, really?
We were in a store and she was like, hey, I'm wearing your shirt. And I actually looked and drank it in. I was like, what in the world? I didn't even know
Yeah.
she had it, but she was wearing that same shirt. That's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe you and
That's
Heidi are
heartwarming.
telepathic as well.
That could be.
Crazy.
The other day, so Brock, another, he's on that Pickle Home Companion show and whatnot.
Yeah.
He visited because he was in Iowa for a work conference thing. So we actually went on a bike ride together, and I almost took him by your favorite Council Bluffs golf course, Joe. Yeah.
Oh, where I deuced on the course.
Yeah, because I made that little video that a lot of the people in that community, the Christian ska online community, thought was pretty great, where I just sort of said, oh yeah, by the way, here's this historical site. I'm outside of Harrah's Casino in Council Bluffs, Iowa, where John once destroyed a green. Yeah.
I thought that was amazing that you did that. Just seeing it, I was like, because I can remember what it looks like
Flooded
in my
with
head,
memories.
But that was, yeah, But I mean, that was 25 years ago, 25 plus years
Uh,
ago. And so it was interesting seeing it. And then you had sent me almost like I think you had sent me a map and was like, this
yeah.
is where I was. And then I told you,
Yeah.
like, this right here, this green is where I
Yeah.
actually took a dump. And
I've
I would love to have seen the golfers that next morning on, who the first
I've
person to hit their ball
Yeah.
in 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 the brown zone. It just come over like, oh my gosh, some
Yeah.
bear took a huge dump. And then like, why is there toilet paper here? And then
The
just seeing like the gears shifting,
that post was totally like off the cuff. Literally, I was biking past there and I was like, oh,
Oh
wait,
my
like
gosh.
this is an opportunity because a bike trail goes through their property. So, like, I was literally just biking through. I'm like, wait a second. I have an opportunity here to,
Oh, and
yeah.
what an opportunity it was.
And
I remember Reese, we took you guys there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
after that story, we were convinced that it was the greatest place on earth, Joe.
yeah. What
Yeah.
were we together the night that I crapped there, or was it a different time?
You know what? I don't remember. I just remember that, like, I feel like Sang and I both got some sort of mercury poisoning from eating shrimp.
Like
We were like, can you
it
eat
was
60?
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I mean, it was, if I remember correctly, I think it was $8.40 because I've told the story so much. I think it sticks with me. It was called
How much
Harvey's
is it
back
now,
then, though.
Todd?
it was a Harvey's at that time. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's now a
How much
Harris
is it now?
Casino. Yeah.
Do they still have the buffet? What is it, like $45 now?
I don't really go. I think they do still have a buffet. They've gotten rid of the boat though, because Iowa originally they only made table games legal on riverboats. So that was
Yeah, it had
why
to be
you
out
had
in
all
the
these
water.
riverboat casinos. Yeah. But now they've just made it legal to have table games on land. So all the riverboats, they're like, why keep spending money to maintain a riverboat when you can just
Yeah.
have your
Yeah, for
table
sure.
games on land now?
Oh man. Yeah, I remember it was $8.40 and like there were shrimp. Well, they were like prawns, like as big as my thumb,
Yeah,
like
they're huge.
bigger than my thumb. They were gigantic. And I remember, I don't know if it was Holy Rollers Tour, I don't know if it was Ska Mania, what it was,
I think it was
But-
Holy Rollers.
but we went through there and you guys and I and Insiders and Five Iron stopped and we all ate there. And we were just, I remember like just trying to put down as many shrimp as we could. But then I also did I did steak, I did
Oh.
turkey, I did all this. And then I was just
Uh.
crushing shrimp. And
So this is not going to be an elegant transition. But Reese, I have a question for you.
Hey, Todd, have you heard
Oh.
our podcast?
the tables
We
have
don't-
turned.
We don't do
Um,
this very well.
well, great. But this will fit in perfectly. Reese, did you in your Bible college sort of studies or whatnot, did you ever study much or read much Kierkegaard?
The answer is I did not go to Bible study, or I did go to Bible
thought-
college.
Okay, you
Went to
did.
regular
I thought at some
college.
point you did some sort of theology classes or any. No.
No,
not.
I would love
Okay.
to. And actually, I've never read any Kierkegaard. I've just read
Interesting.
about Kierkegaard.
Okay.
Reese spell Kierkegaard. And then Todd, I want you to correct him.
Aierchergard.
I think you got a lot of it right. Yeah.
I've never even heard of it. Is it a person?
He
Is it
was-
a
yeah,
school of thought?
uh,
What is it?
So Soren Kierkegaard.
Soren?
Yeah. He was a 19th century Danish thinker. And the reason I ask this question,
Kergard.
yeah, One of my
Okay, I like that.
professors, who was more of like a continental, like European, like philosophy scholar, he said in like actual Danish, you'd pronounce it more like Kierkegaard or something like that, but we say Kierkegaard. But anyway, I've wondered this because, and maybe it's because of some of the stuff you read, or it's just happenstance. I think there's a lot of themes in common between some of Kierkegaard's writings and some of the songs you've written over the years. But so that's just
Okay,
why I
now I'm
asked.
gonna read
Yeah.
Kierkegaard talks a lot about Native Americans.
There
He
you
talks
go.
a lot about being in vans and blue combs.
I can tell you
What-
the four
so-
main themes. If you really like, I've identified 4 themes that I think they have in common.
And
What
he
is-
actually finishes one of his writings by saying, I really think our state is grand. We'll all just wait and see.
That is
I was actually-
Kierkegaard.
I sang that bit to my girlfriend the other day because I mentioned Colorado. But I don't know that she was very impressed. But
I'll tell you what, Todd, I'm not. I am not.
No.
Those
right,
those
Todd, what
songs need to
is-
stay where
Yeah.
they lay.
Yeah.
What's a good Kierkegaard? Like, what's a good book to read to start out on Kierkegaard?
Kierkegaard for dummies.
There's a guy,
No, nothing.
Stephen Backhouse. I'm like,
I think it's
uh,
pronounced Bauhaus.
he has a great biography of Kierkegaard. Yeah, Stephen Backhouse, called Kierkegaard: A Single Life. I think that's a
Okay.
pretty good like introduction. Yeah.
Okay.
I
what
read
about
it a
like
few
reading
years
his
ago.
philosophy? Is any of it worth reading?
Well, I think his philosophy is worth reading. A lot of it is voluminous. Like
here we
a
go.
lot of it's big. It's
This is
this
this 5 iron.
dense.
This is this 5 iron
Um,
fandom talk.
So I think that it's better to read about Kierkegaard. So here's what got me into Kierkegaard. There's a book called The End of Apologetics by a guy named Penner, who was like an Anglican missionary in South America.
Okay.
And he basically tries to get away from the whole like apologetics sort of thing and says it should be more about building relationships with people. But anyway, he references Kierkegaard a lot in there. And then the number one Kierkegaard scholar, so he's got multiple books and stuff that I think are pretty good, is a guy named C. Stephen Evans. A book that I think is pretty good, actually, that I think would tie together Kierkegaard plus like Christian faith, because Kierkegaard was a Christian, which is unusual among existentialists, but he was an existentialist and a Christian. He has a book called Existentialism: The Philosophy of Despair and the Quest for Hope, in which he sort of argues that Kierkegaard's philosophy is better than other existentialism like that of Sartre or Camus. So
So
I think
you
that would be a
as-
good place to start.
I'm like more curious like how you went from this, because I think like people that are philosophy majors normally they just get like, here's one theory about it and I have no opinion on my own. Like they're just like everything is like you instead of like kind of getting like a solid philosophical worldview, like, okay, this is what I believe. It's just like I don't really know what I believe, and it's just here's 17 ways to think about it. Did you get like that?
At some points, I think there have been like through lines, though. There have been ways that I've probably stayed on a pretty similar path. You guys, I think you've probably interacted some with Caleb the Spy. He's got his album anniversary podcast, and he's got the I Survived Youth Group in the 90s podcast that he does with another friend of his. They recently interviewed me on there, and I got all into like how Kierkegaard sort of like has like one of the bigger influences on my like worldview and faith at this point.
Okay.
Him and William James,
So you
who was
had
like an
you,
American psychologist.
if you
in the
had to
early
write
20s.
it out, you
Yeah.
feel like you could at this point. Like, this is what I believe and here's why.
Yeah.
You want to do
Um,
it though? You gonna write a book?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Question here. The
Yeah.
guy who's not as smart as you guys.
You're
Um,
super smart, Joe.
You are,
Like,
Joe.
does studying like philosophers and stuff like that, has that helped you in your Christian faith? Or like, did your faith come after that? Did you grow up in like a youth group and then kind of question what was going on? Because my experience growing up is like people who got into philosophy were people who were getting away from Christianity. So like, how did you come to melt the two together?
Philosophy departments, like academic philosophy, is a very non-religious place. You've got that right. Because there's even surveys that have found that I think, maybe 70% of academic philosophers today, people who work in universities teaching philosophy and stuff, are not religious. So you're right there. But no, I was someone who grew up in youth group, grew up very, very church oriented. I actually went into philosophy because I thought I wanted to be sort of like an apologist, someone like a William Lane Craig or whatever, who's going to go debate, I'm going to go debate atheists on a stage somewhere, and I'm going to, write books telling people all the right things they should believe and all that sort of stuff. But I sort of went through like a sort of crisis of faith while I was in undergrad. When I had an older brother who died. And so I went through this sort of dark period. I came back to my faith. And it's just been a little different since then. So yeah, I came back, but I definitely just have a different view on, and that's why I'd say I'm influenced by Kierkegaard and William James and stuff, in that I'm like, look, I can't find all the answers. Like, it's not my job to tell people always like, look, I've got the right philosophy, the right theology. This is what you should believe. But more like, look, these things, are important to me. They give me meaning and value. And, I'm willing to share those things with people, but just not through the method of I'm going to provide you with arguments and, hammer over your head with arguments why you should believe, which is what I would say I used to want to do. Yeah.
And how did you become a nurse? Like, that's a crazy turn.
Basically, I got through my master's degree and realized how tough it is to actually get a professor job. Like there can be hundreds of applicants for every like philosophy professor job.
And they just give nursing jobs away.
Sort of, relatively.
Kind of do, Joe. Yeah. As long as you get that license,
Yeah.
and maybe if you've got a couple drug diversions and you've taken the classes, you can still
As long as
get
you can
it.
find that vein within 27 pokes.
So, yeah, I decided, I'm like, look, another thing I was always interested in was the medical field. Like, I think when I graduated high school, I thought I was either going to be a doctor or I was going to be like a minister. And, through college, I ended up more on the ministerial side. And then at some point, after I got my bachelor's in philosophy, when I told my professors, hey, I think I might want to go to divinity school now and get a master's of divinity, they're like, no, you should be a philosophy professor like us, So I just had a lot of people telling me to do philosophy. But then after I got done with that master's degree, it's like, yeah, I have a lot of friends who got their PhDs in philosophy and are still just working, adjunct jobs and not getting jobs and stuff. So I decided to try out the healthcare field and I guess it stuck. Also, weirdly enough, though both of these jobs are very stressful, the constant pressure to publish that academics are under was extremely stressful for me. Like I would have like
more than being
mental
an ED nurse.
breakdowns. Yeah.
Jeepers.
So that's another thing that pushed me sort of away from academia, though I have concurrently, like for a while, I was teaching at a local university here, medical ethics on the side. And that was actually really fun. And they liked having me there because they're like, look, you have a degree in philosophy, but also you've actually worked in the medical field. You're a great person to teach medical ethics. So I have used my philosophy degree in that way.
Now, when
That's
you
true,
use
Go.
your philosophy degree, do you have to wear a toga?
No, but I should.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Uh,
like if someone's trying to tell me about
Yeah.
philosophy, I would not take them serious. I wouldn't even listen to their first argument or whatever unless they were wearing a toga.
Yeah,
That's-
definitely. I'm on that page.
Yeah.
If I do get back into teaching,
Please wear
I
a
guess
toga.
I could try that. I wonder if there would be like some people who might have a problem with me showing up in a toga, but
No.
Shouldn't. It's
Yeah.
2025.
You'd be like, hey, I am wearing underwear underneath, just in case you guys are worried.
one time I biked to campus and the chair of the department saw me later like in my like cycling get up and was like, you didn't teach in that, did you? And I was like, no, I actually brought a set of clothes. They're in my backpack. Like, cause
You were like, listen here. What do you mean? Is it to teach in this? We are all of this. This is all a stimulation.
What does this mean?
yeah.
So, Todd,
Yeah.
being a nurse, is it doing it for you?
Or is it just a paycheck?
I mean, I'm getting really tired of the ER. I plan to try to go into some other sort of area soon. I'm at my current ER job. I'm still getting my sign-on bonus, like it's paid out. So I'm waiting for that to be up, and then I plan to try to get a different job because I'm getting tired of the emergency department. It's just, and I think this is probably lots of nursing jobs, but it's, it's overworked, like there's way too many patients. We don't have enough staff. We don't have enough rooms.
Everywhere.
I've seen
Yeah,
the
it's
pit.
just very
I've
stressful.
seen the pit.
Yeah.
Seen the pit.
I've
It's
seen the
just
pit
like-
with Noah Wiley.
Oh yeah.
People often, like, they ask me a lot, like, not a lot, like sometimes at work, they'll find out like that I used to be a co-pastor of a church. So they'll be like, "What? You're a pastor?" And it's the South. So that they're just like, "Wow, that's amazing. Can you preach to me?" And I'd be like, "Nope." But like the question comes up, like, why did you shift to this a lot? Or like people talk about like me being a nurse and I was a rock star or whatever, kind of. Why do you do this? And like, I feel like the things that I wanted as a pastor, like I wanted to help people. I wanted to like be in there ministering to people. I don't want to, like, what I hated about being co-pastor at Scum of the Earth was like every week you got to come up with a new way to tell people to like get off your ass and go do something, because like unless you're in there, like unless you're joining in the suffering of Christ, you're not going to know him and you're not going to feel it. Like, you just, how many times you got to say this? Like, and you get tired of telling people that swearing is okay. Like that talk is like, well, just like fighting against like the churchiness of it. But then like as a nurse, you're doing that. Like you're in there. People are suffering and you like they are called upon to just like bring peace to them or like try to end their suffering. And I don't know. I feel like as a Christian, like that my Christianity gets played out, like the being the hands and feet of Christ so much more as a nurse than I ever did as that, or as like being in that stupid fucking band I'm in.
Yeah.
It-
part of my transition from philosophy to I also in between before I did nursing, I was actually a paramedic for a while. And then I decided to do
Jeepers,
nursing
man. Holy
to,
crap,
like,
dude.
make more money and have more options basically.
Okay.
So
It's
I
true
but
there's
as a,
more options, but like all nurses respect paramedics. They are like
Yeah.
they're like super nurses. You
yeah,
guys, you're in there.
Yeah. They get paid less money generally, sadly. Like I think if being a paramedic had paid better, I might have stuck with it, but yeah, part of it, I was in philosophy and I thought, man, a lot of these philosophers who had some interesting things to say about life, they weren't just like academic philosophers their whole life, right? Like they did some interesting stuff. So I also felt that way, like, look, I'm going to go become a paramedic and actually have some like life experience, outside of just being in the academic world.
So you did it.
Yeah.
How long were you a paramedic?
So I was a paramedic for like 8 years. Yeah.
Jeez,
I only
Pete,
became a
dude.
nurse recently. Like I was
Okay.
actually working in the ER as a paramedic for a while, and then I finally decided to do nursing. So like I've been working in the ER for a total of 10 years, but a lot of that was as a paramedic. But I also worked in an ambulance. Like I did some private EMS. Like I was at one of Slipknot's big like music festivals, like providing EMS care. Like I've done different types of being a paramedic, being on a volunteer fire department, being like a deputy chief of a fire department. Yeah.
Jeez.
So
Well, I can tell. I don't know if you get this from nursing, but like we all respect paramedics, but we all talk shit about EMTs. Just like,
understandable.
they're like
I mean,
Uber drivers who know CPR. Like
yeah.
you can drive an ambulance, but you know everything because of it. Get
Yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
here.
EMTs obviously are important, but I've definitely had some bad EMTs. Yeah,
Yes.
one of the worst was I had like a trauma, and this is a volunteer fire department though, so the standards might be even a little more lax. And this guy didn't know how to get to the trauma center. Like, I'm like, how did they allow you to drive this ambulance? Like, I have a critically injured patient. I need to get him to a trauma center. I tell you, we're going en route to the trauma center, and he doesn't know how to get there. Was frustrating.
Put it in Google Maps, buddy.
Yeah, I think he actually did just pull it up on his phone, and that's how he figured out how to get to the trauma center. Yeah.
Some of them are great. Anybody
Yeah,
who's
some are
listening,
great,
and you're an EMT, you're great. You guys are
Exactly.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
The
sure they
ones
feel
that I have
that
to
way.
talk to, not
Yeah.
so much.
I'm
The
sure
ones
they're
that
just
come in are
stoked
like-
about their life choice right now.
That's why I tried to be a little softer about it than Reese. I'm like, yeah.
Reese is
Some
like,
of them
yeah,
are bad.
no, but if you're an EMT,
They just
you're a
come
piece
in
of
and
garbage.
they act like they know everything. Where I work.
That's
And I'm just
true.
like,
There
"Hey,
is
you
a
just
bit
got here.
of
You drive the
yeah.
ambulance.
there
Get
there
outta
is a
here."
lot of that. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. There's the not knowing what they don't know can be a problem. Yeah.
They don't have that. That should be the first day. Hey guys, you don't know much.
Yeah.
You can do CPR,
But
but
I know
usually just stand in the back of the
love
room.
you.
Because like when I took my EMT class, because it's a prerequisite for becoming a paramedic, like that's part of why I did paramedic was because it just felt very basic, the EMT level. I wanted to do a lot more. Because really, I had been a lifeguard for many years. Like when I was in college, that
Golly.
was usually my job. was being a lifeguard.
Even lives.
Yeah.
Your whole life, you just been doing it.
So you didn't
I
feel
felt
like
like-
that much responsibility, so I thought I'd become an EMT. I'm going to jump on the train and just bagging on EMT.
Well, it really felt like EMTs didn't
I was a
have to learn
philosopher,
much
and I
more
felt
than
like I
a
wanted to do less
lifeguard.
with my life.
So
So I became an
yeah.
EMT.
it's like I could take a 2-weekend lifeguard course, and it felt like I learned almost as much as I did in an EMT course. But
In
Yeah.
the 2000s, I was a lunch lady, and I thought I wanted to do even less. I'll become an EMT.
It's not that they don't do anything. They just are like they just need a little. There needs to be part of that course. Be like, hey man, you're not a nurse or a paramedic or a doctor. Just kind of be quiet.
So are most EMTs like young kids?
Yeah.
Usually,
So they've just kind of found
yeah.
their. So that's
like a
like their
way in.
first step into the
It's the first step.
the world
Sort of like,
of.
yeah, like
Yeah.
being a nursing assistant is, the first step towards becoming a nurse. Yeah, EMT is the first rung on the ladder of becoming like a paramedic. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Very cool. It's very cool.
Todd,
Todd, you're very cool.
we wanna thank you, man, for coming on. We're hitting 40 minutes here. I have my beautiful wife downstairs that I have not seen since she got home from work. So we're
I
gonna
also
we're
have
gonna bring
Joe's
this to an
beautiful
end.
wife downstairs.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
dude.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
I
man.
do want to tell
It's
all
good-
our listeners.
Good talking to you again.
Yeah, nice.
Sorry, Joe.
nice
Go.
to-
No, I didn't mean
Tell
to
the
cut you off.
listeners. No, I
didn't mean to cut you off.
Todd. Todd, you're
Um,
an amazing person. Okay,
Todd,
no,
you
you
are
cut me off
great.
again.
Reese.
That's fine.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Reese.
Todd, you're
Todd,
great.
you can elbow me in the face anytime you want.
You can take pictures of
Yes.
where I pooped anytime you want.
Anytime. All right,
Um,
go, Joe.
I want to remind everybody next week, our next Patreon that will be coming out, we will be interviewing Cecil Cornish from the Netflix documentary, the tornado one about Joplin, Missouri. So
Twister. It's called
yeah.
Twister. Don't watch Twisters, which I did, and I kept trying to talk to Joe about Bill Paxton. I was like,
yeah, or Alan Hunt.
which one is Cecil? Is it Bill Paxton?
I do have to say that was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Thank you,
And
sir.
but if you kind of want to be up on the conversation that we're having at some point between you hearing this and next week when it being released, watch that documentary. It's very, very good. Takes a perspective of this tornado through about 6 different people, and Cecil is one of them. And so just watch it. It'll kind of get you up to speed on who we're talking to, what we're talking about, and then we're going to go into even more stuff because his story seems to be an amazing one. And so I think you guys are going to find it very, very, very interesting. So Todd, tune in for that. Listeners, tune in for
I
that.
will.
Those of you that support us, tune in for that. And I think we're going to bring this to an end, man. Thank you so much. And
Well,
yeah.
see you guys soon. Todd,
Yeah.
I'll see you at the shows.
I'll see ya.